Hey everybody, this is Jim at SP500chart.com using time-honored techniques to understand modern markets, featuring daily technical analysis videos of the S&P 500 index. This is the video for April 16th, 2012. I want to remind you that tomorrow is tax day. Don't forget. Before we take a look at the chart, the same things apply as always, and that thing is that the website and the video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site or in this video is intended to be used as investment advice. I can draw lines on charts, but you have to draw your own conclusions from your own research. And you need to make investment decisions that are suitable for your personal financial situation. And I'm still not a licensed financial professional. In fact, I have no plans on ever being one. But I do intend to just remain being a guy who draws lines on charts. So let's look at the S&P. So today is a day where we finished. Oops, let me reposition my chart there like a dummy. There, now I think we got it. Today was a day where we had some selling pressure, kind of as we expected. Not quite as much as I thought we might see. But we'll take a look in detail with what happened today. But I'm going to show you in the larger picture that that it looks to me, and all I can tell you is what it looks like to me, that we had this downtrend, then we had this little 3-day rally, call it. Really, it's a 2-day rally. 2-day rally that broke up out of this channel, and then that little rally channel, if we had enough information to really call it a channel, gave way on Friday. And looking into this week, I was expecting some weakness, and we had a little bit of weakness today, but not quite to the degree that I thought. And we're going to take a look at the last couple of days, kind of in relation to this channel and to what's been going on around us in the intermediate term. But right now, I think it's interesting that we have established this channel that broke out, and now it looks like the breakout has now started to slide back down, at least at this point in time, with parallel trend lines. Lines that are parallel to these two. So it remains to be seen if all of this is going to produce an upwards move or whether we're just going to go down further. I still think the best thing for the markets would be some more weakness. But let's see if we get it. It is kind of interesting, and this is not anything of terrible importance, but as I was looking at the chart today, I said, now why did we bounce right here? Why here? And for what it's worth, and probably not that significant, if we extend this little line right here, we do come to this point. But I don't think that's really, it's worth a mention, but I would never trade in such a scenario by looking at this little pattern here and extending that line and say, oh yeah, that's where we're going to get support. It just happens to be that it is. So let's just move that back there. I just thought that was worth mentioning. So what happened early in the day, we had identified what we had considered as being a bear flag on Friday that developed really for most of the day. It looked like it broke down near the latter part of the day on Friday. But what happens to this morning? Well, we essentially gap up to that top line, then we sell down. So that tells me this line right here is still got some, what's the word I'm looking for? It still has some clout in the markets. And so we had that sell down. Then once we bounced off that, we could draw this line up here and extend it down. So what we ended up with in the second part of the day was a rally up to and just a little over this line, and then the market just kind of played around on that line for the last, wow, how long? Couple of hours of the day. Now, if we look at some of the action that we have seen in the past, we draw one possible conclusion from what to expect tomorrow that may be a little different than what you might expect. Normally, I would think, well, this is our support line, this is our resistance line. I'm thinking we're gonna move down tomorrow and come back to this bottom line. But I have to remind you that the last time we saw an upper resistance line get continually approached and then backed off of, it led to a breakout. And that was kind of back here on the 11th, where the market rallied up and then just kind of hung around this line for a bit. So at this point, what I would do, and what I'm going to do, is I'm going to consider this like a little, possibly a little bull flag, and we'll see if it plays out as such. Because it is in an interesting place. So at this point, I don't have a super strong feeling that, yeah, we're going to rally and we're going to break up out of this. I would feel a lot more that way had we come down for another touch to test these lows that were set back here on the 10th, because it just seems to make sense to me that maybe we come down and test these levels again. And you can see that if we were to come down and test this support line in this newly formed little channel, that would certainly, I would think, make for a tradable event. But right now, it is possible. I'm just pointing out this little pattern right here. It is possible that the market will get up over this line tomorrow and run up and test the eventually run up and test that 1386, 1387 area. But I don't have a super strong feeling about tomorrow's direction, frankly, one way or the other. If we had hit down here, in other words, if we'd come up and tag this line and then come down and we ended the market down here around 1359, then I would feel absolutely the market will bounce tomorrow, we'll come up and we'll test this line again. But where we sit is underneath resistance, okay, and well over support. So you have to consider the natural tendency would be for this to come down and test this line, but the shape of this little pattern right here is what's kind of holding me up on making that call. You can see that, as we've seen in the past, here we reached this level, sold off sharply, reached this level, sold off sharply, came up back to this line. This time we're not selling off sharply. We're hanging around. Very much like we've seen the market do in reverse, where support lines would produce a strong bounce, another strong bounce, and then the market just kind of hangs around that line as if to say, I'm gonna hammer on this a little bit, see if we can take it out. So no bold calls no bold calls for tomorrow. I'm just pointing out where these lines are, resistance and support, and let you make the judgment, let you make the call, which is what you need to be doing anyway. So as well as last week worked out with all these little flags and stuff, they happened in pretty clear places and they were a little bit better formed. If this goes up, that'd be great, but if it goes down, frankly, for the markets, I think that'd be even better. So look, that's the analysis for Monday, 4/16. Kind of sitting on the fence here, guys, and until we end the day with a clear sense of direction, I'm not going to try to make something up. Now, one thing that I mentioned is that there is always the possibility, as we take a look at this longer term chart here. Let's tell you what, we're going to back out to an hour chart. I know this is a mess of lines, and I apologize for that. One of these days I'll clean it all up. But right now all of these lines still make sense. What I want to show you is this is a potential for a neckline, for a potential head and shoulders top. I'm not saying we got it yet, but you can see this rally here, then this rally with a clear topping pattern here. We have not yet come down to test this line, but if we did, and then we rallied back up again, and then came back to test it again, that's something that we should all be aware of as a potential larger topping pattern that just has this little triple top kind of as its tiara, shall we say. So look, that is the video for April 16th, 2012. And I've got a real quick little announcement I want to share with you. I have been asked to start up a blog at a new finance website, and the invitation came to me a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to be doing that. The name of the website is, and I don't have it written down here, but it's pretty easy to understand. It's rantfinance.com. I want you to come over and check it out. My blog is just right now titled SP500 Chart. So I would love it if you could come over there and add your 2 cents in over at that website. And thank you so much for checking out today's video. Take care.